So recently I rolled a monk as a character, and as you can see here, he is the 4th character class that I have rolled. He is also now the highest level of the character classes that I have rolled, and I haven't actually been playing him for that long, so that just goes to show how incredibly powerful this character is. So let's jump in and have a look. Alright, so first off, I am going to do a /played, and we can see what my total playtime is. So I've been playing for 1 day, 21 hours. So what's that? 45 hours total. So in 45 hours, I have gotten my character to level 88 and have done all 4 of my ascendancies, which is actually more than I have done on my ranger, which prior to this was my main character class. And on the ranger, I have been playing for, at this point, over 120 hours. So I've just done my /deaths, and you can see here that I have died a total of 47 times for that 45 hours of playtime. And basically every time I've died on this character class, it's been from there being so much stuff happening on screen that I couldn't see a on-death explosion of a character, and I'd die from something dumb. So you can have a look at a few of the ways I've died when I play them right here. Now, I know why I got through the campaign so quickly, and it's because this is the 4th character that I've rolled, and I knew that I was going to eventually play a monk, so I had been storing things in anticipation for that in my stash. So when I'm a little bit of a hoarder when I play these sorts of games, because I like to re-roll things with the exalts and the chaos orbs and try and make my own gear. I'm not really into trading very much. I have traded for a couple of things, but I keep it to a minimal. I prefer much more to be trying to create my own gear in these kinds of games. So while I go through, I have like a section for each character and their speciality weapon. So I have a staff section here, and you can see sort of some of the things. And I was lucky enough to roll this very early on, which is a level 12 staff that gave me melee skills. It gave me crit damage, elemental damage, the fizz. And this carried me basically from level 12 all the way to whenever my next upgrade was, which was probably like level 37 or something like that's when I got my next upgrade. Currently though, the staff that I am using is this staff here, which I did roll myself. Once I got this high roll, I haven't been game enough to varlet, because I don't want to brick it because it's the best item that I have. So at this point, I'm just going to leave it as is without the varling. And the most recent upgrade that I did was I actually traded for some of these Hand of Wisdom, which I'm going to be sharing around on my characters. I did get a pair with +1/2 melee skills on there because I knew that Monk was probably going to be my main character going forwards. So I prioritized the Monk on this. So prior to trading for the Hand of Wisdom, I was using these gloves right here, which is nothing fantastic, but it had a bit of rarity, bit of res, bit of damage, and that was enough to get me through. So we'll have a quick look through the other gear that I'm currently wearing. I've been prioritizing resistances to get those capped. So if we go down here to my character, you can see that my resistances are capped basically on everything apart from Chaos, which is on 32%. I also have 82% evasion and 1500 energy shield and 1700 life, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when we go through here and you see that I'm using things like Wind Dancer and I'm using Grim Feast, those things do pop up a little bit as well. So my energy shield ends up being about 3000 on top of the 1700 life, so I'm not doing too bad. It's enough to not get one shot, but I can't stand around in groups and get hit. So we'll go back to the gear quickly and you can just see the kinds of stuff that I'm wearing. I don't really need to cover this too much. It's all very standard sort of gear. There's nothing really exciting going on with this. And I'm currently using a freeze charm. Ideally, I would like a belt with an extra charm slot on there, but I need the strength and res, so at this stage I'm just capped with the 1 charm because that's basically all I've found. And like I said, I'm trying to avoid trading as much as possible. Now, when I first started this build, I was following a guide, but when I got up to about level 40 or something of the campaign, I just went, and just went went off on my own tangent, but I haven't really looked at a guide since. So these stats are potentially not optimized as good as they could be. So there's probably areas of this that could be min-maxed for this character to do a little bit more damage or have a little bit more survivability. But at the moment, this is clearing tier 17, 18 maps. And I just don't really need to be tweaking it any further until I go and try and tackle pinnacle content. So these are the skills that I'm currently using. I have not maxed out any of these to being a 5-link because it seems finding a perfect jeweler's orb is just ridiculous. Even with me clearing the high tier maps that are completely juiced that I'm clearing, I still haven't had them drop. I've had one drop in my entire playthrough of probably over 200 hours now. I've had one. So they are rarer than divines at this point. So you can see at the moment I am using a Tempest Bell, as is pretty common amongst most people. You're probably going to know that the kind of stats that I'm using and why I'm using them. So I'm just going to skip through very quickly so that you can see what I'm using. I'm not going to talk about it. Just going to give you the quick look. If you need to stop, if you want to try and copy what I have done, you're welcome to pause the video and slot these in so that you can copy what I've done with the build. I do have Frostbite equipped, but I had that equipped since I was running through campaign, and I'll be honest, I have not used it since, but I don't really need the spot for anything, so I'm just leaving it there until I find something else. I would really love some more spirit so that I could put like Blink or something there, but that Blink is also 60 spirit, so I just don't think I'm going to get that much. Alright, so now you've seen my gear, the skill tree, and my passive tree, and you've seen how far I've gotten within the time frame that I have done it. Let's jump into some maps and I'll show you how this guy is playing. Alright, so I'm going to pick a map. I've thrown a T15 into my inventory that we're going to run, and I'll try and pick a map that is sort of juiced a little bit. So we've got... this has a breach and +1 level, so we can do a 15. That's going to bring us to monster level 80. And we'll see how we go here. So you can see that we're just kind of flying through here. There's basically nothing that poses too much of an issue for us. I'm getting some rubber banding going on at the moment, so hopefully that sorts itself out. So I was looking forward to doing a breach, but with this kind of lag delay going on, I'm not sure if that's gonna go well for me, but we'll do it anyway. Right, so here's the breach. We're gonna run through here, and you're gonna see how we do in a breach that is once again, it's always a lesser jeweler orbs, never a perfect, or even a greater. Alright, so you can see how just utterly ridiculous this character is. That wall's going to be in the way. And we do that. So Life was never a problem, damaging was never a problem, we clear so quickly. So long story short, Monk is just absolutely incredible. I do think that coming up very shortly in the future, this dual herald thing is probably going to get nerfed into the ground. So do I think it's going to stay like this? Probably not. But at the same time, I'm using also on my Ranger, which I've played for over 120 hours, also the dual herald, and it can do this on like tier 12 to 13 maps, but on a 16, 17, no chance. Not without spending multiple divines on gear would I be able to do that. And I've spent only money on getting these Hands of Wisdom gloves on this character. Nothing else has been bought, and I'm doing 110,000 damage on my Ice Strike, which is nothing to sniff at, and that can probably be improved later on as well. Like I showed earlier, probably the main drawback with this particular build is the fact that there is so much going on screen that it's hard to see on-death explosions of monsters, and you do get one-shot by those occasionally. But really, so far, for the 40 hours that I've been playing Monk, to get up to level 88 and be clearing this high level tiers with all 4 ascendancies, I think that's pretty good, and it just shows to how powerful this class can be. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you're enjoying Path of Exile 2 as much as I am. Just remember that the state that Path of Exile is in at the moment is the worst state that Path of Exile will ever be in, because with every patch and the longer that the game's around, it just constantly gets better and better and better, and it is still early access. So this game has a lot to give still, and for the state that it's in currently at this early on, is hats off to Grinding Gear Games. They've really put together a masterpiece in my opinion. Anyway guys, thanks for checking out the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.